Welcome to Goldboys Live, presented by Pickett Sports. Sleeper picks, breaking down the card in MLB. We are drafting Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe we'll get into some Saquon Barkley stuff. Josh, Brian, Brad, I don't know. Should we just start with Barkley now and get into it? Finally, he got his money, $70 million in the bank. Maybe that's enough money. Maybe it's not. What's going on, guys?
I just wanted to point out how funny it was that like Valix was counting down to the producer to get going, and you were like looking at your phone, probably placing a bet, and looked up like, "Oh wait, yeah, that's right, I'm on."
That is exactly what happened. That was a very abrupt. It was like the play clock's winding down. You got to get the snap off. So we got the snap in. Plays good.
Hell yeah,
and it's in. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, not much. This should be a fun show. I mean, a lot has happened in the last 24 hours, which is usually not what happens for these daily shows. I mean, since we last met, we have the mega super ultra max for Jalen Brown, and then we have Barkley finally signing a deal. Which didn't they have that Zoom last night with the running backs? I wonder what was said in that. What said that meeting, because within 6 hours of that meeting,
that's probably what they said.
Yeah, honestly, they're probably trying to try out for the NBA Summer League next year, try to get the NBA money on their ballot.
It ain't coming for them, that's for sure.
Anyone want to shout out Darvish?
No. Yo, Darvish, you trash man.
I'll be honest.
Home run after home run, like.
I'll say this. I said on the show yesterday, as soon as we, because if you don't know, for this show, we don't really tell our picks to each other. So when me, Josh, and Brad all align on the same thing that made a lot of sense, it never goes well. When three people find something that makes sense, doesn't really make, I don't know. But I was the opposite. I was the opposite of Will. After that second home run and the third home run and the fourth, I was just like, keep throwing them. I was like, at this point, just keep getting, keep hitting these home runs. I was just like, once I knew it was 5-1, I lost. I was like, I hope we just keep throwing turkeys. I don't even care anymore.
It's funny though, they got a scoreless top of the first, and then the Padres hit a leadoff homer. I was like, man, I should have tailed this. They're gonna smoke the Pirates.
Yeah.
Look up and it's 5-1. All the dogs that late slate. There were 3 games that started 10 o'clock Eastern. Cardinals were like plus 165. They came back and won. Blue Jays were small dogs, and the Pirates were huge dogs, plus 230, plus 240, and they won going away. So, man, any sicko out there that parlayed all the dogs on the money line had a nice little evening.
You said that too, Will, but I'm the opposite too. We're same thing. Darvish, I bet him a lot last year. He kind of fell off, but he's always been better at home. His main issue is always his first inning. That's kind of like telling how well he does in a start. And he had a 12-pitch first inning, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah,
this could be one of those starts where he just dominates. Like usually he has shaky first, and he has like 20-some pitches. And then second inning, he wasn't too bad. And then the third inning, it was just the floodgates opened up.
Well, that's why I'm saying like we can definitely just between the 4 of us start a support group for those who still think that the Padres are good. And like,
I don't think the Padres are good. I just trusted Darvish's outs. Let's be honest.
It's like I said though, like for them and the Blue Jays, it's like when you're supposed to win against a pitcher with an above 11 ERA on the mound for the Pirates. Like you're not going to win. That's just how it goes. That's why they're probably both going to miss the freaking playoffs at this point. I mean, definitely the Padres.
I might join because I don't like the Padres. I don't know if they're good, but I might join in more on WillHill hate on the Padres. Where talk about the solo home run. Well, after the first inning, the Padres are laying minus 700 on FanDuel, I think.
Gosh.
Like you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where they're minus 250 before the game.
Yeah,
but it swings like that. Like I mean, baseball is one of those things where we talk about all the time. There was times where it's a 2-2 count, and the team's minus 200, and it's a ball, and all of a sudden they're like minus 120, and it's like, how does that correlate? Yep. So I don't know. Maybe just start waiting for them to go up in the first inning, and then
that's like what happened. That's like what happened in the Houston game last night when I told you guys I was on Houston Live. It was like the top of the 8th, two outs, a man got to first, and then the line switched to Houston like minus 120. I was like, okay.
There were some wild swings in all the odds because Houston was down 3 runs. Me and Josh have a bet on who wins that division. That was a nice little night for me. Chapman, who has been great all year, gave him a 3-run bomb to a place he's had a hard time. And Houston comes back and wins. The Reds Brewers, that was an interesting game. Both the home teams in the 2 pennant race games got walk-off wins. But there were some crazy swings. Like the Cardinals Diamondbacks game, both teams were like plus 500 at certain points, at least when I saw, maybe even higher to win that game. And the odds just swing back and forth. Mariners Twins was another game where the lead changed hands twice in the ninth. So some crazy games for live betting.
I needed Maeda to get the win. Even a Paul Sewald save would have been nice, and everything went wrong. Like the Kelton Wong comes in and hits a home run to take the lead, and then they don't put Sewald in for the save, and they blow it. It's like
made no sense. And then they used them in the extra innings,
and then he got the loss on some nonsense on a bunt. brutal night.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say too is I know because we're all talking about the Padres too. I just put out the box score. If I were to tell you that that the Padres bullpen allowed just 1 run and the Padres scored 4, I would think that's a win against the Pirates. That's great. Like their bullpen is so good for what they do. Like if you were to tell me how good their bullpen was to start the year, you would think they're not 48 and 53 right now.
Yeah.
Do we have a chat up, by the way? Does anyone have a chat up?
Yeah, we do.
I'm trying to pull it up, but it's going slow for me.
Most just Eli making fun of me, so don't worry about it too much.
If you guys want to, if we want to just take a break for a minute and just like literally read every comment and then see if there's anything we can go off of. But if not, we'll draft defensive soon. We can get to plays. The last thing on the Padres, though, the interesting thing, that's a fascinating team if they decide to sell because Snell could swing a race, and Snell's in the Cy Young. I have Snell 50-1 for Cy Young.
Snell is
to the American League. So that's an interesting one. Hader can swing a race. So if they decide the next week or two, that they're going to sell, that could really swing a race because there's not a lot of pitching. There's the White Sox guys and not a lot else. Struggle Bus Eli says more likely to get dealt Ohtani or Soto. Well, that's a good question. I would probably say Soto.
You don't think they're dealing Ohtani?
I honestly think it'd be so fun. This is like the hater part of me. I think it'd be if Soto traded because basically the Padres is admitting they failed and their whole thing just is
gotta
not
be realistic though. You can't be stubborn and be like, "Oh, we're gonna be fine."
Oh, I know.
You got to get something.
I'm just saying the hater side of me would just love that aspect of it, where it's basically them saying, "Wow, we tried, guys, and we are screwed." The Michael Scott, we are screwed.
Right. Yeah. Fascinating. You guys want to get to bets for today?
Yeah.
Whoever wants to go first, I have one, but whoever wants to go can go.
I'll go first,
but I don't like it. So Brad, you get started.
I'm going Erod Rodriguez over 5.5 strikeouts in the Lions, in the Tigers game. A strikeout, a crap ton. He's hit this number in 6 out of 7 games. I think it's a good spot for him, especially what we've seen a lot with these Detroit pitchers is like they've been pitching with more confidence because their team behind them is playing really well too, which kind of helps a lot for that low number.
Yep, I'm tailing that in the form of a money line bet for the Tigers. I got a minus 120 last night. I think it's still around there. Not trying to give you stale lines and get yelled at.
This is so funny because I like E-Ride too, but if you guys like Detroit and E-Ride, then I might just have to.
Damn it! No, all right, I'm out.
Well, I was gonna say this. I said yesterday I rarely take strikeout bets. Just in general now, I just haven't been having as much success as outs props, but. This Angels team is so watered down, without Trout and some of the bigger bats. It's really just Ohtani who you can walk and skip over. But against left-handed pitchers, they're striking out a 30% rate the last 30 days. And E-Ride just looks so good. I was surprised at any juice that 5.5 was the line that he opened up with. So I played it last night. But yeah, 29.3% strikeout rate against lefties. I just think. I mean, you kind of mentioned it.
One thing that's really weird because Trout, Rendon, Brandon, everybody's hurt for the Angels, yet they had the 3rd best numbers against left-handed pitching in the last month and a half.
Yeah, no, it's.
I don't know how to explain that to you, and I still like Erod, but
here's my thing: is when you bet strikeouts, I don't really care as much about runs. I get I remember if you play against strikeouts, it's oh man, home run. I know it doesn't help, but it's you know what? He's got 3 strikeouts through 2, this and that. You can allow 8 runs if you give me 6 strikeouts.
And Trout's been in, I think, for most of that. He got hurt a week or so before the break, so most of that I think is with Trout in there. Although
that's fair.
Yeah,
still 3 weeks or so, but.
It's probably
and Canning. I'm honestly Eli just told Tony to shut up in the chat, but Tony knows what he's talking about because Canning is sneaky, dude. Honestly, there's some. He had 12 strikeouts last time out. So there is some possibility that he does okay, but if you're just betting on Erod the way you guys are talking about, I'm behind that, but I already hit the money line on that one.
Someone in the chat, Dean over here, asked about if you would consider a nerfy in that game. I probably wouldn't. I don't know what the juice is, but we kind of talked about yesterday. I don't play them super seriously, but the logic makes sense. I trust both these pitchers in these matchups, at least to start. But I'm not sure if you guys have any thoughts.
I'm seeing Bet Rivers has minus 127 for a nerfy. Angels, Tigers. Haven't dug into it too much. I don't hate it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's still the Tigers and Angels. Like I said, you walk Ohtani and then you make someone else do something.
Right. I mean, Ohtani can certainly beat you with one swing, but that goes for any sort of nerfy. So I don't hate a nerfy at minus 127.
Nope.
Eli, please don't yell at the 3 people watching our show. Yeah, that's a good point. Please don't.
Actually, by my count, we have like 40 right now. So most of that as I paid people because I have a concert tonight. So me and my friends all took off, and I told them I'd pay for half their tickets if they watch the show for an hour.
4 YouTube channels going right now.
Yeah, she doesn't even know New York computer, but she has 4 YouTube channels, a Discord channel. She's our biggest fan.
Hell yeah!
I'm going to go Herman under 5.5 strikeouts against the Mets, pitching for the Yankees.
I saw that.
Whoa.
Rested bullpen. Mets are the 3rd lowest strikeouts in the league. They 700.
He's coming off back-to-back 9K outings.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. But
he's only walked 6 dudes since his perfect game, and he's in 3 games, and he's had 23 Ks. Because I was looking at that game too, and I was kind of fading Herman by actually backing Verlander. By just taking the Mets first 5. It was minus 140 on DraftKings last night. I think.
Are you worried that the Mets have to score for that to work out?
The what?
Are you worried the Mets have to score for that to work out?
No, I get that that's a thing. I think they can score 1 run. I think Herman will give us something at the very least. But like Verlander's nice right now, and people are like kind of trashing him because he's way better at home, where City's like a super pitcher friendly ballpark, but. Like so is Yankee Stadium is super friendly for pitchers as well. If he can just not let it go over that short porch, right? So I think he's still gonna be fine. He came off just 8 innings and 7 Ks. I'm scared to take the Ks. That 5.5, and it's like minus 150. I don't really want to get it up to 6.5, so I just stayed away from that.
Did you see somebody tweeted at Verlander's brother, who's on Twitter, Ben Verlander, and said, "I heard a rumor Verlander's going back to the Astros. If that's true, ignore this tweet. If it's not true, like interact and like this tweet or retweet it." And Verlander liked it. So I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Oh man,
that would make sense him going back to the Astros. They need another pitcher. It's not working out with the Mets. I mean,
once he deletes all the pictures of him in a Mets uniform from his IG, then we know he's out because that's what Harden did a couple of days ago.
I will say, Major League Sports are now like high school and middle school. Like 2 weeks before the draft. It's like 2 weeks before the like the big dance. It's like they delete all. It's crazy.
That's why people like the NFL, because these guys don't get their way. NBA, these guys like they cry and get their way. NFL, it's just like teams are like, look, you can be as mad as you want. We're not trading you. You're gonna play, and like so.
There's 5 dudes on a court. 1 dude comes on and can win you a championship. In the NFL, you have what
it's a lot easier in NFL to be like, all right, cool, you're over there. Like
there's 56 dudes on our team. We'll find someone. We'll be all right.
Yep.
But let me finish baseball too though with another crusty bet on what people are hoping for Dinger Tuesdays, and we're like under. I'm going under 9.5 in the Phils and the Orioles game. Tell me what you think of that, Brian, because Taijuan Walker's nasty at home. The Orioles are way better against lefties. So, like, I mean, I'm with it. Like, I think he's going to have another good game. He's got a 2.76 ERA. All his numbers are, like, double bad on the road versus at home, which is crazy. So, you combine that, the Phillies go under at home, yada, yada. Like, I got it at minus 115 on DraftKings last night. I was pretty sure that was going to move. And right now, the under in that game is at.
I'm still seeing minus 15s and minus.
Orioles are playing.
Yeah, you can still get minus 9.5. Hell yeah!
Yeah, I like
Philly's
that. I know.
Terrible too. Are people freaking out about Philly?
Honestly, yesterday I bet Orioles money line on the show yesterday just because I don't know if you saw the Phillies lineup yesterday. Basically said, you know what, we're not going to win this game. They're 6-9. They benched 4 or 5 major bats. I don't know. I think this team had all the momentum, and I'm not super worried yet, but you gotta stop the skid, because baseball is such a sport where you can win 8 in a row, and then if you lose 5 in a row, as long as you win the next 3, it kind of all evens out. But they gotta turn it around because they just aren't scoring, and that's kind of a big point if you're gonna win any kind of sports, is you need to score more than the other team. So I do like that under though. I also like the idea of like the strikeout props for Gibson or Walker, one or the other. I know some people are already on either one, but they're both 4.5. I wouldn't hate you if you bet either one, because Gibson revenge game and Taijuan Walker has just been great at home the last few starts.
Did you say Kyle Gibson revenge game?
Yeah, Kyle Gibson revenge game.
Yeah, I could see some runs in that game. An under would make me nervous. I think Baltimore will hit Walker, and I think Gibson can get hit. Those are 2 good lineups. It's a small ballpark. Could be hot tonight. I'd be nervous about an under, but and I'd lean Baltimore at the plus money. Baltimore's playing really well. So, but I don't know. Nothing I really have a play on.
Tony likes the parlay on those Ks, 6 each for Gibson and Walker.
I like that. I mean, I was actually looking for like a 4x4. It was like -130, like for each to get 4. I just want to see what the lineup is, because do you know how hard it is to be a fan of a team to bet against your team? When I saw that lineup they put out, so I want to see what the Phillies do lineup wise before I play anything.
I was just going to ask you guys, but Kyle Young with the comment of the day so
I'm
far.
looking at the weather right now.
Yes, could be an issue for that Phillies game.
44% chance.
We talked about it Friday in Mets Red Sox, and it actually paid out.
Thunderstorm, 81% chance at like now, or I guess.
Yeah, it's supposed to clear up by 6 or 7. From what I know.
By 7, it's 44%. By 7, it's 44%, and then it drops to 37% by 8.
34%. Bipolar ass Philly weather.
Yeah, because I'm going to an outdoor concert later, and from what I've seen, they haven't had any weather updates
going to that
yet.
Jason Aldean concert?
I'm going Post Malone.
Oh, right on.
Post Malone.
Yeah, it'll be a fun time.
All right, should we draft?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me pull that back up.
Defensive Player of the Year. Is this going to be our last one? Are we going to do Comeback Player of the Year? Are there any other things to draft?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What else is there? I'm trying to think.
Wait, Tony doesn't want us to go away from baseball.
Oh, okay.
And
I can give another play then. I did it where it voids non-starters, but I took Whit Merrifield over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. I like another high-scoring game here. He's been hitting like crazy. Has 30% expected over total bases as well. So good spot here. And Urias, I was trying to find a way to fade Urias, and I was gonna do a run in the first inning, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I just think I'm gonna go with a hot batter against him who could score and rack up a couple of hits. It's multiple outs in that.
I like that.
All right. Are we? Is the plan to still draft? What do you guys want to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna draft. What's the order again? It's Will. I'm third.
All right.
I'm last. Oh, I messed that up. It's good. I didn't want to be third. Third
based on merit.
It's based on merit.
I am gonna
Dean wants to know if anybody would play SF first 5 versus San Diego. Taking SF's money line, I imagine first 5 versus the Pods.
I mean, this will probably be the day the Padres turn around now that none of us are on them. But
just so you know, we don't get honor against the Padres anymore on this show.
At least you do get
Rich Hill.
At least you get the option for a push. But yeah, I can't trust the Padres at all.
Yeah, can't do it. Can't do it. All right, should we start?
Yep.
I don't think I've ever won one of these. I don't bet this market a lot. I did have Parsons last year, like plus 800, and he was like -400, -500 pretty late in the year and did not win. Bosa won it, one of the 8 Bosas that's in the league. So it was Bosa that won it, right? I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Parsons, the short shot, plus 650. Garrett, plus 750. We'll just get right into it. I'll go Parsons plus 650. Not that he got snubbed last year, but he was in the mix, didn't win it. So maybe there's a little bit of a sympathy for him. He's obviously a great player. He's on a high, marketed team in Dallas. So he's going to be in the spotlight. I'll take the short shot Parsons plus 650. Brad, you're on the board.
I'm going TJ Watt. He can stay healthy. I think he's a good shot at this award. They strengthened up their secondary, which always helps guys who are rushing the quarterback there. So TJ Watt plus 800.
All right. Well, then I'll take Parsons.
No, I took Parsons.
Will just did.
That was your first pick. I thought you said you took him last year and then you moved away.
Yeah, and he took him this year.
I'm taking him. Yeah, I took him.
Ugh. Don't like that because I don't really want anybody.
Yeah, we can probably wrap this draft up. That's probably all the guys that can.
Honestly,
Yeah, this is the one draft where I would want
I'll go
top 2 picks.
Keep going.
No, I was gonna say this is the one draft I would want either Wyatt or Parsons. And Watt or Parsons. It's like the only 2 players.
Yeah.
It's like not saying the only 2 that can win it, but in a draft setting, there's like the 2 guys I would want TJ or Parsons.
I don't know anything about this Lions deal. All right, I'm just taking Quinnen Williams then. I'm just gonna take all the Jets.
Okay. 30-1. We're using
Roll
FanDuel,
Tide.
right?
Yeah, 30-1.
Yeah, 30-1.
Nice number. I don't hate that.
All right. This always seems to be an interior line, some kind of front 7. So gonna go Myles Garrett at 750 to 1. I'm on draft. I don't know if it's different on FanDuel.
750 at FanDuel. You can have the best number.
So no, it's the same number. I'm just making sure. And then I'm gonna go Aaron Donald 25 to 1. My back-to-back pick. I just think
I didn't know he was still in the league.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those things where we always talk about these awards with the narrative. I mean, he missed 6 games last year. He's still Aaron Donald. He still gets a lot of love. If he comes back and has a dominant season, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back.
He's won 3 of the last 6.
Oh, I know. And that's why I think 25 to 1. I'll take the chance that after a down year, maybe he. I mean, the voters love him apparently, and I mean, what's not to like, except for the fact he hasn't played much last season.
I just want to point out one thing real quick. Marvin in the chat said that Deshaun Watson's going to be comeback player of the year. Will, do you want to give him your reasoning against that real quick?
I would just ask Marvin a simple question. Did Deshaun Watson die on the field last year? No, he did not. DeMar Hamlin is going to win the award, I think. As long as
they already have his name etched on the award.
Yes.
The ultimate trump card that you could just
Deshaun, I don't know. Deshaun Watson's a touchy subject.
That's
come on. For sure.
Brian thinks he's so funny.
That was good delivery. That was good.
It's low hanging fruit, but sometimes you gotta take it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to make another pick, Brian? Or you just want to forfeit? And
I already went. Dude, I swear, Josh.
I know. I started to just like tune out.
I think Josh came ultra prepared for the first 3 ones. He did really well, and then he's like, "All right, I'll just bank on these 3 awards winning."
Dude, I already won it with Bosa at 200 to 1 for MVP. Yeah. I don't need to do this shit.
And then he just kind of gave up. He just kind of gave up with these drafts.
We do have way better weed out
here. He's the teacher's. He's the guy coming to the test. He's like, "That's today." That's Josh was like,
that's due today.
He didn't know he was the player of the year until we started drafting.
At 50 to 1, book it. Let me get Chase Young 50 to 1. Chase Young, he plays for the Washington Commanders.
75 to 1 on FanDuel.
You mean he's gonna be on the bench for the Washington Commanders on the shelf? All right, I'm gonna take Chris Jones at 31. Dude, listen, so last night I couldn't sleep, and so of course what I was doing, I was like just looking up stats and shit. Like the Chris Jones metrics of him on the field versus him off the field for the Chiefs is absolutely berserk. Like I didn't realize he had that big of an impact. So if he just continues, stays healthy at this price, I like it.
Yeah. My only word with Chris Jones is his name is Chris Jones. I swear people they don't realize how good he is because his name's too boring. He needs to change that, and then he'll start getting a lot more hype.
I would go with a marquee name on a marquee team. I'll go Hassan Reddick 30 to 1. In the Super Bowl last year. It's a great defense. You can't just double team one guy. So Reddick at 30 to 1. Somebody in the chat suggested it. I wasn't sure he'd last this long. Eli saying he's just going to keep getting more annoying. I don't know how that's possible, but I took Reddick at 30 to 1. I'm on the board again. Let's see. The top guys are gone, right? Parsons, Garrett, Watt, all gone. Is anyone taking Nick Bosa at 12 to 1?
No.
Negative.
No.
It's hard to win back to back.
Unless you're Aaron Donald.
Unless you're Aaron Donald. Good
point. I'll take Nick Bosa 12 to 1.
Why not? I'll say this. My other point, Josh, with that is I don't know if you saw, but Aaron Donald's like a 99 again in Madden, despite like missing all these games and this and that. I swear, this guy, people just I don't know. I like Aaron Donald, but yeah, it's almost like he doesn't get the same criticism as some other players with some of the injuries and other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just sort of off the Madden or NBA 2K rankings as my system.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that's my system, Josh. I'm just saying.
He's I think I'm gonna go overvalued, but yeah.
I'm gonna go Trayvon Walker at 60 to 1. I just like his price a lot more than guys who I was gonna pick who are a little bit older than him.
We'd agree he's pretty disappointing last year for number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a surprise. That was a weird first overall pick anyway, but at 60 to 1, I mean, it's not. I mean, you start to run out of guys that can actually win it, I would think. Although, I mean, who knows? So let's see. It is now Josh.
Yeah.
Man, the disparity between like the top 10, 15 to the like top 15, 20 is got to be harder than any other award we looked at in terms of. I mean,
I agree.
Some like household names are like the plus 10,000. That's crazy.
I mean, you got to get sacks. So
somebody in the chat, Studio P says Gibbs offensive rookie of the year. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Supposedly he's looked great at camp the first few days. And then somebody
he's on my team. Oh no,
Garrett Wilson offensive player of the year. I don't hate that either.
I gave out Garrett Wilson.
All right, Josh, come on.
Of the year.
Jalen Phillips.
He's in the league.
Yep.
Okay. That's
50
good.
to 1.
All right.
Like the National Football League?
Tackle.
Yeah,
football.
I'm kidding.
Are we doing CFL?
All right, Bri. 2 for you.
All right, 2 for me. It's always it's never secondary, but I'm gonna take the 2 shorter shots. I'm gonna go Gardner at 15 to 1.
Okay.
Just because it's always that front 7, but in case someone has a spectacular secondary year, which would be him, I'll take it. And I'll go Max Crosby. I'm gonna take the shorter shots here just because I was fully prepared to take some of these other guys down the road, but man, this award really feels like you have to just be in the news or be in the spotlight as much as possible. So
Have
I'll
you guys
take
watch QB. He's a little cheap shot artist. Always hitting Mahomes in the head. Have you guys watched QB?
No,
yeah,
I watched like 30
I watched it.
I couldn't hear you guys were talking at the same time. Nobody's watched it.
No.
I watched it. Brad said he only watched 30 seconds. That's all he usually lasts.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not
Yeah,
great,
right.
It's watchable.
He doesn't usually last longer than 30 seconds, maybe a minute on a good day.
All right, give me Brian Burns
Brian
to get
Mr. Burns.
300 tackles this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna go with Brian Burns, and I was like, let me just pick Trayvon Walker. Okay, is it my pick?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Kevon Thibodeau.
Ooh, I was gonna take him
at 50 to 1.
Ooh.
Okay, don't hate it. I will go Matthew Judon 50 to 1 on what might be the best defense in the league with the Patriots, or one of the best. So I'll take Judon here, and we'll go around one more time.
Yeah, get one more.
I think once that will suffice. Yeah,
suffice. Just a value play here. Jeffrey Simmons, 100 to 1.
No, I think you do mean Justin.
The Titans guy.
Yeah, Justin.
Isn't that Jeffrey?
Oh, the Titans is Jeffrey. Yeah, my bad.
Yes. I want
No,
the Titans guy.
Did you say 10 to 1 or 15 to 1?
100 to 1.
100 to 1 or 150? 100 to 1?
Yeah, I'm on FanDuel. Jeffrey Simmons is 100 to 1.
Oh, they have it reversed on DK. Justin Simmons is 100 to 1. Jeffrey's 150 to 1.
Wow, 150 to 1 on Jeffrey Simmons?
Yeah.
Doesn't that seem high?
What if they messed up their Simmonses?
I mean, they're both 100 to 1 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I'm looking at DraftKings right now. Jeffrey Simmons, Jeffery.
150 to 1. Wow, that seems high. All right.
Did you take 2?
Yeah, no, I took Simmons. I took
one,
Jeffrey Simmons, and I took who else did I take? I took Matthew Judon.
I'm going to take.
Is there somebody from Bama you could take? D. Milner or somebody?
I was gonna take Will Anderson. I guess I'll just do it 100 to 1.
Okay.
All right, Derwin James, if he's gonna play this year, for Christ's sake.
He's never hurt.
75.
I don't. Hold on, let me see. This is
yeah, go ahead.
This is tough. Look at some of these teams, some of these guys. I'll go 40 to 1. I'll go Surtain, Patrick Surtain, just because maybe they get
back to
maybe
back Bama.
I was gonna take Surtain.
Yeah, well, I figured that Brad would take him, but
that's not a terrible.
I don't think it's a bad pick. I think with the coaching change and some other stuff, maybe they get more of a spotlight. And I mean, I said it earlier, it's usually never secondary, but maybe just trying to stack some of the 2 top secondary guys if they get enough spotlight, enough love.
Does anyone have a pick they would actually bet or have actually bet?
No.
Me neither.
No, hell no.
If you had to bet one of yours, who would you? I'm guessing it's the first guy you took, but if you had to bet anybody, forget on your team. If you had to make one bet in this market, who would you guys take?
TJ Watt.
Okay. At what? 8 to 1?
8 to 1.
Yeah.
I would go Watt or Donald. Those are the 2. Because like I said, Donald's just one of those guys where at 25 to 1, you're getting the top guy that people just seem to love more than anything in the world.
I mean, yeah. When you make me bet, I'm taking Parsons. I think there's something to be said for like not winning it last year and keeping the momentum.
I saw like they were the reason they were like saying he can't win this award is because like he's not going to line up outside as much as he should to win the award, and people don't really care. Like I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, because if you talk about the best overall defensive player, you gotta say it's Parsons.
Yeah,
Marvin says Derek Brown Panthers. I mean, that'd be an interesting sleeper. I can't bet any of these now just because like it's July. These guys, if they get hurt in training camp and you miss like the season or whatever, it's not like you get your money back. So
yeah,
I would this is one defense in such a violent position. I would at least wait till September, wait for at least make sure your guy makes it to the season. But As far as actually betting, honestly, Jeffrey Simmons at 100 to 1. I'd have to look at why that's 100 to 1. Brad's excited. What happened, Brad?
Galatasaray came back 2-1, hit the team total, and now we're chilling with the money line. Oh my God, nice.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll wrap on that. We finished the draft.
Is that golf?
We're all good.
Is that golf?
10-minute
Soccer.
quarters.
10-minute quarters. Yeah.
Anything on women's soccer, the World Cup? I have a hard time getting into it. The games are on at like 1:00 at night. And just in general, it's been all unders. When you see a trend like that, Brad, do you back the trend? Do you think
100%? Okay. You back it at least through the group stage. It's not one of those trends that's like a fluke. Like it makes sense. You think like, so this is the first Women's World Cup where they expanded the field to a lot of teams who wouldn't normally be in the World Cup. So it's a lot of really good teams versus a lot of really bad teams. Like when the United States played Vietnam had 0 shots on target. And then when you Colombia versus South Korea, that was probably the most open game we've seen. But South Korea had 1 or 2 quality shots. The rest was just busy motion. Or like some teams like Netherlands are just going to be much bigger and more physically imposing than teams that they're going to be playing. So it makes sense. I've been jumping on it, but the pricing's starting to get out of hand. Like I laid -172 last night, and I don't want to go for something that's non like I didn't do any research on. I don't want to go much past 175.
How about the games tonight? Anything on the games tonight? Again, these games start at just a ridiculous time. The U.S. games actually started a reasonable time, 9:00 Eastern, which isn't bad. Let's see. We got 1:00 in the morning. Japan, Croatia. Japan's a monster, -1400 favorite. Totals 3.5. Juiced under. Spain, Zambia. I don't know. Canada versus the Republic of Ireland.
What's the total for United States that you're seeing?
2.5 under.
I'd probably take under.
175.
Oh yeah, I would take under. I think it's going to be a 1-1, 1-0 game. I just don't see how either team's going to score on the other. They're both so good, but both of them haven't been like super impressive in finishing so far.
How about US plus 250 to win the whole thing? Is there value there? Is there value anywhere in terms of the outrights?
Listen, the US have a big problem, right? They have so many young players who have never played in a World Cup. I think they only have 4 or 5 players who actually saw quality minutes in their last World Cup. So what's different about them this year is them servicing their players. Like they have a lot of really good individual talent. If it comes together, they win this thing with ease. But right after game 1, you could tell it was a lot of not knowing when to be selfish, not knowing when to pass the ball. I'd probably still play them to win it all. Like United States soccer for women is just at such a different level than it is for anywhere else.
Do you think plus 250 is a decent price?
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, Argentina was like plus 450, and there was a way more parity in the men's World Cup. So,
who has the most attractive team? I've been watching.
Man,
we're lucky no one watches this show because we would get canceled. So I've realized that I've said some things like not just this show, but like in the past, like I was thinking like it was just little comments that like.
But Will asked that question for the men's World Cup too, didn't you, Will?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's like,
who said it was the U.S. team?
And then Brian had a list like 9 pages long.
Yeah, he did. He even had specific players' names.
Yes.
And I'm like, guys, it's research. I work for a sports talk show. It's like, Brian, I've never seen you have this many notes in my entire life. Right off my back. Yeah, you guys should stop talking about this because I'm gonna be, like I said, at this concert. I should be like 2 a.m. I'm gonna be hammered, and I'm gonna be like, what was this team that Will said? What, Zombie Land? I'll take them plus 850.
All right, I think we can wrap on that. So you do say under 2.5 is a good bet in the U.S. It's tomorrow, so we can talk about it tomorrow. But I think 250 is okay too on the money line for the to win the whole thing.
Yes,
I might get into that. Just to have a rooting interest plus 250. I don't know. I might take that. Did you bet anything? Have you bet that yet, Brad?
No, I'm probably gonna wait till it gets a little bit closer and they're like plus 100, then use them as a parlay piece for a golfer that
You're gonna wait till the line gets worse?
I'm gonna wait till they get deeper in the tournament so I could see them a little bit more.
All right. On that note, boys, appreciate it. Josh, Brad, Brian, thank you to Sleeper. Thank you to Pickett. Good luck with all your plays. We'll be back tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern. See you then.